First date, she wanted me to get into a bar fight with the perfectly friendly guy who'd bought us a round of shots that night. Why? Because she found out he was a Scorpio. What is your Tinder horror story? My bro is back for another story time, how exciting. You're in for a real treat today, my man. Make Andrew happy and sub to the channel, or at least like the vid. Because if you do, I'll send you some anime fasimisks. Enough chat, let's start the stories. This guy asked me if I would be interested in dating his dad. Met up with a Tinder girl at Dave & Buster's. She brought me there for a ducking pyramid scheme sign-up presentation. Guess I respect the hustle. He gave me my first kiss. I didn't hear from him for 2 days. On the third day he texted me that he had been arrested. Haven't heard from him since. This girl I matched with just messaged to troll me. I was like, hey, what's up, and she was like, don't talk to me unless you plan on ducking me with your 9-inch dick. I forgot what my reply was, but she obviously never messaged back. Then a week later I'm getting McDonald's, and this girl was the one who handed me my food. She recognizes me instantly and just had this total look of fear in her eyes. I walked out of there so quick. That poor girl thought I purposely sought her out to confront her or something. Talked to him for 2 weeks before we went out and no red flags, so we ended up going out to dinner. I said I hadn't been out in a while because I was trying to save money for a washer and dryer. He told me instead of saving for that I should save for a boob job. I didn't even know how to reply, so he followed up with, no, it's not a bad thing. My sister and mom both had small tits and got boob jobs, and they look amazing. This is all before the waitress even brought our drinks. I just got up and left. Found a profile using a picture of me that was obviously ripped from my Facebook account. Come to find out it was my ex-wife trying to stir up drama and problems between my current wife and myself. A single friend of ours texted me a screenshot of it. My wife is an intelligent woman and didn't fall for it. This became a horror story for my ex because this, among other shady things she had done, landed her with stalking charges and identity theft charges. Sucks to be stupid. Well, I've only gone on one Tinder date. We talked for a bit and I agreed to pick her up at Starbucks. She looked nothing like her pictures, but I thought I should be nice and at least hang out with her for a bit. We went to her place and the entire house reeked like cat pee. Like saturated. Then as she proceeded to show me her massive collection of animal tail butt plugs, she screamed at her chihuahua and smacked it right on the nose, and without missing a beat, just asks if I want to make out on the couch. I awkwardly sat down and pretended to look at my phone and made up that my grandma was dying so I could pho. Matched with my BFF's fiancé after the engagement party. Screenshots of everything and lost my BFF because I don't play that. I was uninvited to the wedding. Marriage lasted 18 months. Edit. Thank you for the gold award. Since so many have asked, I did not swipe right. I took a screenshot and asked my friend what she wanted me to do. She asked me to swipe right to see if he was active. I didn't. He messaged me asking to hook up. I told him off. He still wanted to hook up. I gave her all the screenshots. He uninvited me from the wedding because he was certain I would embarrass him. He was correct. I wouldn't sleep with my friend's fiancé, nor would I pretend that he wasn't a jerk. That's why the friendship ended. She was from a culture that required marriage before children. She was desperate for a baby and thought he was her last chance. He was running for a public office and wanted the smiling wife and cute baby. Yes. They both used each other. Edited to add. Yes. They had a baby. Edited to add. No. He did not get elected. Chatted with this girl for about 2 weeks. Every conversation went well and eventually I got her number and she started sharing nudes and speaking dirty. Late on evening after a stressful work day, she talks me into driving an hour to come get coffee with her. She spends the next hour and a half non-stop talking about her ex and how she has to see him at the bank and all this personal upset ex-girlfriend stuff. She cuts me off anytime I try to speak or change the subject right back to him. A day later I get a text about how I didn't do any talking and I was too boring to be anything more than just friends with. She got irate when I pointed out she would not allow me to speak and only wanted to talk about her ex-boyfriend when we have never once had a slow or boring conversation before meeting up. So I met this girl on Tinder and went for a lunch date. We had a pretty good connection, so we decided to have dinner as well. After having a few drinks, one thing led to another and ended up back at my place. We hooked up and went to sleep. Middle the night I wake up. She's intensely staring at me while she's crouched behind the bed. I asked her if everything is alright. She said yes and got back into bed. I thought little creepy, but probably nothing to worry about. She lays down to cuddle with me and she's wet. At the time, I was like, damn, I must just be a stallion. Fast forward to the morning, she's gone and there's a wet puddle beside the bed. She peed on my floor. I still don't understand it. I had a bathroom, but maybe she just got lost and couldn't hold it? I did not hear from her again. Edit. Just want to be clear, we were both tipsy and not sloppy drunk. Fresh off a breakup on campus, match with this really good-looking girl who is talking pure filth. Obviously I'm just an idiot with a hurt heart, so I don't question much, head over to her place a few days later. She insisted I come over on a certain day at XXX o'clock. Usually I would have been sketched out, but it was the middle of the day on a B1G10 campus. What exactly could go that south? Half hour and her husband came home. I was being used in a revenge plot. No more Tinder. Edit. Dang, did not expect this much interest. Apologies for not checking back, haha. Anyway, I pretty much just froze and he started screaming at her in a language I did not speak, and she got out of bed and did the same. It was at an apartment slightly off campus where a lot students lived, so I guess I just assumed she had a roommate that wasn't home. Never assume. I just basically embraced the chaos, grabbed my crap as fast as I could, and hightailed it out of there. I can only assume it was intentional based on the specific meetup, but maybe it was poor luck. Either way, just talk to the cute girl at the coffee shop, it's much better than apps. We were supposed to meet at 9 p.m. He fell asleep and called me at 9:30 when I was already at the carnival. I told him not to bother coming as I didn't want to see him. He asked for another chance and I agreed. Unfortunately, my dad got really ill and had to spend the next 6 weeks in the hospital with me visiting him daily. I had no time for dates and he got extremely mad. He made a fake Instagram account which he used to follow me and everybody that I followed. He then saw me in a friend's Instagram story and showed up to the restaurant we were at. He called me a whore and a liar, and we had to threaten to call the police because he would not leave. Edit. Some of you are asking how it ended, and I'll just add this to my comment. He had my number and kept calling me using different phones. I knew it was him because he'd just be silent and I could hear him breathing. He did this for over 10 months. I was even living in a different country towards the end. One day I was expecting a call from a friend and had a missed call from a landline, so I called back. It was his mom. I explained to her what was happening, and after a long silence she said, "Please don't call the police, I will talk to him." Never heard from him again. Edit 2. Some people are asking how the convo with his mom went, so I'll just type it here too. I was living in Thailand at the time and I had a friend, Luis, text me the night before telling me that he missed me and he wanted to catch up, so I told him he could call after I finished work. I was a teacher there. When I came back from school I saw I had a missed call from a landline and I assumed it was Luis, so I called back. A woman picked up. Her. Hello? Me. Hi, Teeny Gecko here, I have a missed call? Her. It must have been Carlos, he's not home at the moment, but I'll have him call you later. It clicked for me, I only know 2 guys named Carlos. Me. Carlos surname? Her. Yes. Me. I'm sorry, but could I talk to you for a second? Then I told her everything I remembered. I was so scared she would not believe me and call me a liar, etc. I was shaking, and I've never felt so crap. It was nearly 2 years ago, and I forget the exact details, but she kept whispering Dios mio as I was telling her. She asked me to not call the police, and I told her I would if I ever heard from him again. I never did. Edit 3. Some people are asking me how I found out about the fake Instagram account, so here it goes. The reason I was at a restaurant was because my sister had flown in from Dublin to visit my dad for a weekend, and she made plans to meet her friends for tapas. I drove her to the restaurant and her friends saw me drop her off and asked me to stay. I did. After a while, I saw him and he yelled, the waiter threatened to call the police, and after the madness I sat back down, and we all looked at each other like WTF. I wondered how TF he knew I was there, and the only way he could have known was because one of my sister's friend put up a story where we were all saying salud with our drinks and she saw that 140+ people saw the story. We ended up finding his profile and realized that he had followed everyone I followed, so that's how. We all reported the account and it got taken down by Instagram. Thanks for watching. What did you think of the story time? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any more story times.